Hello again, my sweet kids. It is just, it's kind of a shame, but it's just what folks have to go through. That you have to go through something so serious in order for you to get your power back. Because the Most High is tired of seeing you, not necessarily in the same place that you were before, because you might have made some improvements than you were 10 years ago spiritually. But the Most High, or some people can say ancestors, whatever they want to say, they're ready for you to get everything that you're supposed to get. And they're tired of you living a life that is less than what you really should have. Especially when a lot of stuff that you should be having right now has been stolen from you, whether it's stolen energy. In a lot of people cases, especially black women cases, but in a lot of people cases, it's stolen energy. And sometimes your own family members steal your energy. But I did a few videos ago, a couple of days ago, about how white men are wearing black women's energy. And I got that from listening to, it's a lady named Isobel Mitton, Isobel. Mitton is Mitton. Live, Live. That's the name of the channel, Isobel Mitton Live. And she talked about, I forgot what the reading was about. What was her reading about? I can't even remember what it was about. But she started talking about how white men are wearing black women's energy and how pretty much the world siphons black women's energy. And so I felt like I've been through a lot in the last 4 years because possibly ancestors, but the Most High is tired. It's ready for me to get my power back, ready for me to get my energy back, and to get into my purpose of what I was supposed to be all this time. And I feel like that with black women. We don't have to live in a world where people make us, so-called black women. I don't like that term black, but I'm just, that's what the term is. You don't have to live in a world where where people make you uncomfortable to be who you are. And you might have some black women that say, "Oh, I'm fine. Nobody ever makes me uncomfortable." But it's a whole lot of black women that might feel differently living in certain parts of the United States of America. Okay? And I feel like so many people are using the energy of the black woman and then turn around and make her feel like she doesn't deserve anything. She doesn't even deserve the scraps on the ground. I was listening to, what's her name, Sabby Sabs. I saw a clip of hers. She does these long lives and then she takes out these 20, 30-minute clips on certain topics to break up the live videos. And she talked about Candace Owens. And I guess Candace Owens was questioning Turning Point USA, how they were changing things around so quickly after Charlie Kirk's assassination, according to Candace Owens. It was something that they were doing to change things around at Turning Point USA. And Candace Owens made some kind of comment or some kind of tweet or whatever talking about only 6 weeks after Charlie Kirk's assassination, they're doing such and such and such and such. And I guess the CEO or director of Turning Point came back and said he addressed her as the queen of DEI and told her and defended himself to proceed to defend himself regarding her statement about what the changes that were being made on Turning Point. But he had to make it a point to call herself DEI, and he called her the queen of DEI. And then he turned around and called her low IQ. I'm sorry, Candace Owens don't give me low IQ. I don't think Candace Owens give anybody low IQ. I don't think Candace Owens would give Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk low IQ. I can get a lot of things from Candace Owens, but one thing I do not get is low IQ. These people of no color that I'm going to have to say, because white is a color. It really there's no such thing as white or black people. I'm really ready for that vocabulary to leave. Because even if I choose that I don't want to call myself black, we are classified as black in the United States of America. Even if I don't want to identify as it, we're classified as that. And you have another group of people that's classified as white, even though they are not the color white. It's not even about a color, it's literally a status. It's a social status. And to go along with being black is like, it's putting you in a certain category, but you're already classified as that. But getting back to the people of no color, like Cynthia G used to say, or white people. They are. I'm getting really annoyed with this whole stuff with the DEI and the whole thing, calling her low IQ because you heard Donald Trump say that about so many other people who are black. And so, he called Jasmine Crockett low IQ. And so this white guy turns around and want to call Candace Owens low IQ and call her the queen of DEI. Now, why would he call her the queen of DEI? Candace Owens pretty much has her own business. She has her own channel. She's doing her own thing. Why is she the queen of DEI? See, anytime a black person works for somebody else, they're called DEI. I'm really the disrespect, and I'm not even defending Candace Owens. I'm tired of the United States of America and how black women specifically, because I feel like black men can defend themselves. I just have to say, they're not going out of their way to really defend black women, and it's just what it is. It's not that I'm mad about it, but I'm saying I'm tired of the way black women, but I'm going to have to say this right now. Black women are, in a way, choosing to stay at the bottom. Black women are in a way choose because you can make it'll take work, but you can choose to get your power back. First of all, I feel like black women can get their power back by learning to respect each other and not attacking each other so much. I mean, I don't know if I've seen anybody else, any other group of women use witchcraft on each other the way that black women use witchcraft on each other. And it might be even worse in Africa. But I don't think I've seen any other group of women that use witchcraft on each other in a negative way, the way black women use witchcraft. Black women literally try to kill each other spiritually. They really do. They're not shooting each other in the streets like black men do with guns, but spiritually they literally try to kill each other. But so that's why I say black women can also make a choice not to be at the bottom, but literally they pretty much fight to stay at the bottom. A lot of them fight to stay at the bottom. They go against, a lot of them, not all, a lot of them go against anything that will make them progress. And I've said this before, black women in media, black women in entertainment, it almost looked like they signed contracts to make sure that the black women stay low in consciousness. I said I saw something with Vivica Fox. I feel like there are black women gatekeepers. There are certain black, for some reason I've seen Vivica Fox a few times. That's come to me in my mind. And when I see images of her, like it pops up, like what do I keep seeing about? Is Vivica Fox a gatekeeper of black women? And I know Vivica Fox is not really, she's still relevant in a way, but you don't really see her that much, even though she is still kind of relevant. She still does stuff. She's still active. She's not somewhere that's not doing anything. She still works. But what is going on with Vivica Fox? I feel like she's a gatekeeper. She's a gatekeeper. And so what I'm saying is, If black women in the United States were to collectively decide that they are going to love themselves and they're not going to tolerate the disrespect from the world anymore, I feel like you will have other black women who will step in place to make sure that don't happen. It's other black women that will step in place to make sure that black women do not rise to a certain level of consciousness. Not collectively, black women would have to move away from the United States of America to actually be able to rise up in consciousness and peace. They would have to leave the United States of America, because in the United States of America, everything is being done to make sure black women are defeated. Everything is being done. And I'm going to say this part and then I'm going to go. This is why I say black women can just work on their self-love. The revolution will not be televised, because if black women was to get online and say, let's get together, let's love each other, let's do all this stuff, let's build, you will have, you'll be in a war. You're already in a war as it is, but it's going to be an obvious war. If you let people see you do that, come together, it's going to be an obvious war. It won't be so covert, and you're going to be in a fight every day. You're going to be in a fight. They're going to find reasons to lock you up. They're going to find reasons to come into your house. They're going to find reasons to pull you over in the car. They're going to keep finding reasons to mess with you if they see you coming together and loving each other. If they literally see that, it will be so much going on to ruin your lives. And that's why I say the revolution will not be televised. That's why I say that black women need to go on more fast for the collective of black women, right? Or just for themselves, first of all, to deal with themselves. Because if they change themselves, then you'll be the change that you want to see in the world. Well, you be the change, because when you work on yourself and you change yourself, then you affect the collective consciousness like that. So if you are a part of the Black American women, and you are a part of, literally, you are tethered. It's like, it's a literal tether, okay? You're entangled with other black women. It's literally spiritual. You're entangled with other black women. And so if you decide to do the work necessarily on yourself, and you decide to accept nothing less than self-love, then what's going to happen, because you're entangled with these other group of women, you don't even have to talk about it. Because when you talk about it and you want to make videos and have a channel dedicated and do all this stuff, you're going to be a target. You're going to be a targeted individual, and you're going to be gang stalking. Do you want to go through that level of trouble, or would you just rather not let the revolution be televised? The revolution will not be televised. Okay? The revolution will not be televised, because it is a literal entanglement. It's literally, you're entangled. I've already seen it. Black people are entangled with each other. Okay? But it's entangled in a very disorganized way. I saw like some black yarn, and you know how you buy black yarn, but you take it loose, and you just take your hand and just scramble it all up. That's how I saw black people in an image, in a vision. That's how I saw black people, like that black yarn taken apart and tangled all up. That is how I saw black people in 2021. I saw white people where the yarn was looking all neat and stuff, but they were starting to come loose at the top. I saw it starting to come loose. So white people are starting to become, a mess too. But right now they're still pretty organized. And so because you see this, because you literally are entangled with other black people, then what you do to yourself, you're going to affect others, especially black women. I think black men make it their business to separate themselves from black women. I think a lot of them don't consider themselves. You know how black women always like to say our men, our men. I never said that before. But a lot of black women like to say our men, our men. You don't hear black men really say our women. You hear some say the sisters. But what happens to black women don't really affect black men like that. Now, what happens that black men can affect some black women, but what happens to black women don't really affect black men. So I don't think that black women and black men are connected like that. Okay. Uh, but black women still are definitely entangled with each other. And I feel like instead of trying to do stuff out loud, you can just do stuff in secret. And the one thing you can do is work on yourself more. Work on health, whatever it is you think you need to do. Work on your way of thinking. Definitely increase all the self-love possible to the point where there can exist no kind of self-hate whatsoever. And do as many fasts. And fast don't have to mean going without food all day. It can be going without food for a day or 2 or 3. Some people go about 30 days or longer. But it don't have to be just without food. It can be like cutting out meat for a week. It could be cutting out sweets. It could be cutting out bread. It could be cutting out sugary drinks. Whatever it is that you want to sacrifice to allow the Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to call it, to allow something more pure to enter your body. That's what people do. Okay, and they just choose. And it could also include not looking at social media for a week too. Uh, but anyway, I feel like if each time a black woman does that for herself, she affects the rest of black women, because they're all connected. And so when she does that, then she affects other black women without even saying anything, because you're tethered. Spiritually, you're tethered. You're like chained together. You're chained together. You don't know you're chained together, but you're chained together. So when you decide to do the work on yourself, increase self-love as much as possible, and raise your consciousness and your emotional intelligence, then you're going to affect other black women without even having to say a word, just by the fact that you work on yourself. Because I'm really sick of the United States, and I'm sick of the world, really, that black women cannot be comfortable, or people identified as black women just cannot be comfortable in her skin. I mean, she can, but at the same time, you still know, even though it's places that you can go and still have a good time, you still know that it's quite a few areas where black women or black people just cannot go, and they can't go and be treated like white people. And it's really not about being treated like white people, but you don't want to be treated like trash either. I feel like black women are bullied into low self-esteem. They're bullied into, everything is done to make certain black women feel like, you know how they want to humble black women? Some women do need to be humbled, because you have some women that don't listen to anybody. They don't see anybody else's point of view. They don't care how they treat others. They don't care about tearing somebody else down. Some women like that need to be humbled, right? But other folks want to humble black women in a way for her not to have self-confidence. What some people call humbling for black women is so she won't have self-confidence. Black women are being bullied into low self-esteem. And it's like, you don't have to take that. You don't have to take that. And I, for one, am tired of existing in a world where black women are not treated equally. Okay? I'm tired of a world that black women are just not going to be treated equally. But anyway, I just felt like talking about that really quickly. And I will talk to you later.